We're John and Lisa, and we're spending 70 days eating our way across Asia. After 3 fantastic weeks in Vietnam, we've now moved on to Cambodia, starting off here in Siem Reap. We arrived on Christmas Eve. Like most people, we were here to see Angkor Wat, where we'd be spending a very alternative Christmas day, but we also wanted to find out what else Siem Reap has to offer. We'd heard mixed reports about the food, which was a bit of a worry, but after our crash weight gain in Vietnam, we thought it could be a blessing in disguise.
We're in Khmer Taste.
First meal in Siem Reap.
First meal here. We got caught an early flight this morning, so we're both kind of zonked since we had to get up at 4:30 in the morning.
Right, actually, there's 50-cent beers, so it's let me out.
So, we got out of the hotel, had a little walk around, looked at a couple of restaurants, and just ended up in this one because, well, it's quite a few people here, actually. Let's see, how's your curry taste?
It's kind of like a sort of British green curry kind of level of spice and flavour.
Yeah.
Nothing offensive about it whatsoever, but it needs to be amped up.
Are you going to reach for the chili sauce? And
fish sauce is the main need for this at the moment.
Fair enough. I've got sachets.
Maybe I've just spent too long in Vietnam, but
I've got sachets of salt too that I picked up in the Shake Shack before we left the UK. If you need that. My dish has just arrived. This is beef lok lak. It's stir-fried cubes of beef with onions and a fried egg on top. This is a sauce you often get with meat. It's lime juice and pepper and salt, maybe some MSG in there. Yeah, it's nice. John's got his fish sauce and chili flakes for the curry, so he's happy too.
Let's see. Oh, that's better. Oh, that's better.
Nice.
In Cambodia, it seemed, the difference between a good meal and a bad one was right there in the condiment tray. Thank goodness for fish sauce and chili flakes. But on the whole, we weren't down on Khmer Taste, and in hindsight we should probably have tried their backpacker favourite $1 chicken burger, washed down with another 50-cent beer. Last time we went somewhere after watching a Luke Martin video, we ended up in a mediocre barbecue restaurant in Crete. But the place we went for dinner, which was another one of his recommendations, looked legit. Would it be second time lucky for us and Luke?
Right, so this is one place we want to visit. It's like fried chive cakes. So I think it's kind of similar again to like a Chinese dim sum dish that I'm familiar with. So I was quite interested because I really like garlic chives. And I like pan-fried rice cakes too. So let's see what we can get here. Right, so we're in. We looked at the menu and they have a lot of different sort of rice noodle dishes as well as the chive cakes. Lot cha, it's called. So we thought it's a bit weird to just go in and order a couple of sides. So we ordered some noodles as well. I picked one of the ones that said special. There was no English description, but from what I can tell, it's like these slices of fried pate, it was called. And these are like sort of deep fried fish cakes. It's got some beef in there, some cabbage and bean sprouts, garlic chives, and under there the rice noodles and the fried egg on top. Everything's better with fried egg on top, right?
And a little nod to Hong Kong here with the...
Oh yeah, they serve you the cutlery in the hot water, so I guess it's a bit like in Hong Kong where you get to wash your plates and cutlery in hot tea. So yeah. I recommended that we douse it with the fish sauce and chili as well, but we'll try a bit without it first.
He's definitely right.
Oh yeah, it's bland. It's like completely unseasoned.
Yeah.
It's like a rice noodle, but like a bit like the flat hor fun, but round. It's got a little bit of like the wok flavour to it, but it really needs seasoning.
Yeah.
Like, now I understand I saw a woman like pouring loads on. So yeah, let's stick some on. Let's stick some of this sweet chili on as well.
It's quite thick, this sauce, you know.
Yeah, it's their equivalent of...
Sweeten this, I reckon.
We're going to find out.
It's too thick not to be.
Okay, that'll probably do for now. Okay. Oh, tasty. Right, these chives cakes have come. There's a round one and a square one. I ordered 2 of each because I thought it was a bit weird to order 1 of each, but they are quite large. Yeah, maybe like 2 is a bit too much, but anyway, we're going to eat them. Again, he's recommended that we pour the fish sauce over them, so we're going to do that. And they look nice. Oh, look, this one's nice and soft. Texture-wise. Yeah, it looks like it's just full of chives. Yeah, and they both feel nice and crispy on the outside, but very soft on the inside. So I think texturally they're going to be really nice to eat. So despite thinking that we'd bought like too many of these,
Well, we have, but
no, but we've been able to eat them really easy because they're delicious. Like
yeah.
really nicely,
Very tasty.
really nicely fried. This one's like very soft in the middle. I'd say it's similar to kind of like, it's not like mashed potato, but it's the softness of kind of mashed potato. It's got the chives through it. And then this one, the round one, was more like almost like a mochi skin around the outside.
Yeah.
And then it's packed full of these green chives. I mean, the only issue with them is that they are like unseasoned, so you've got to pour loads of the fish sauce up in it. I think if there was just like a pinch of salt inside here, this would be like 10 out of 10 all day long. But yeah, very Moorish. Good like beer food, I think.
I can vouch for that.
Yeah, tasty. Really worth the visit.
So I guess Luke Martin came through for us this time, although the restaurant is well known and has been open for decades. So there's that. When we woke up on Christmas morning, instead of finding presents under a tree, we headed out to explore Angkor Wat. We'll include some information about our driver, the list of temples we visited, and how much everything cost later in the video and in the description.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
So here we are. This is our first whole day. The weather's good, so we chose today to go to Angkor Wat. We've booked our driver and tuk-tuk for the day, and we're going to start at the main temple.
From the main temple, we headed northeast to Bantai Gadai and the neighbouring Shra Shrang, the royal pool. From there, it was just a short hop to Ta Phrom, the Tomb Raider temple. For our third stop, we visited the never-finished Ta Keo temple. We then entered the walled city of Angkor Thom through the eastern Victory Gate. Once inside, we passed by the Terrace of Elephants, and last but not least, Bayon, the Temple of Faces.
So we've just arrived here. It's almost 9 in the morning and quite a lot of people. We weren't sure if Christmas Day was going to be more popular or less. So if this is a quiet day, well, I wouldn't really want to see it on a busy day. Still a little way to go to get there. A little bit crowded, but it's what it is now, isn't it? Not like 20 years ago when I was first here.
A lot of people come here for sunrise. Some might say too many people. And it would have been cool to see the sunrise above the temple's 5 lotus bud-shaped towers, but back-to-back 4 AM wake-up calls just didn't seem appealing, so we had a bit of a lie-in instead. Built in the early 12th century as a Hindu temple, Angkor Wat gradually transformed into a Buddhist temple, which it remains today. We're not going to try to give you a history lesson, there's plenty of content out there already if that's what you're looking for. But Angkor Wat is just the name of this massive central temple complex, while the neighbouring Angkor Thom is a giant walled city built about half a century later. It's much bigger and has several temples inside it, as well as palaces, walls and imposing gates. Next we headed east to Bantai Gadai, a smaller, quieter temple, which came as a bit of a relief after exploring the massive, bustling main temple site. As we walked around, it felt like an oasis of calm. You see, even though there are always thousands of tourists around, the temples cover an area of roughly 400 square kilometres. That's about 154 square miles, approximately the size of a city like Manchester or San Francisco. Most people tend to converge on a few temples like Angkor Wat and Ta Phrom, the Tomb Raider temple, where we headed next, meaning gems like this one are widely ignored. But look at it. Imposing lotus bud towers? Check. Way less people? Check. Should you come here? Absolutely. And if you do decide to come here, don't worry, we'll leave information about all the temples we visited in the description. Just a few minutes walk away, you'll find Shra Shrang, the royal bathing pool. These days it's not reserved for the king, but despite the rapidly rising temperature, we managed to resist the temptation to go for a dip. Just. This place just goes to show, a visit to Angkor Wat is more than just seeing temples. We then arrived at Ta Prohm, which is probably the second most visited of all the temples now. Not because it looks really cool, which it does, but because the Tomb Raider movie was filmed here.
This is the sort of Insta versus reality shot. There you go. This is what happens when you shoot movies here. Look, we made it. We made it, and the group left. Look how tall that tree is.
So although in some respects Ta Prohm is one of the coolest temples, as it's reclaimed by nature in front of your eyes, you should expect crowds and plenty of whooping from the many tour groups that are here. Maybe try visiting it early in the morning when people are still at the main temple. Next we headed to Ta Keo. This temple was never finished, and as such it's less ornate than some of the others. It's still impressive though, especially its height. And, as we were about to discover, what it lacks in stone carvings, it more than makes up for in stairs. Now, one thing I'd like to point out is that these stairs are a lot steeper than they look on film. Just look at how people are climbing them.
Yeah, that was quite steep going up, so not really looking forward to on the way down. But hey, probably worth it. There's a few more up there as well.
There's the Ta Keo temple. Now, if you don't like heights, you might not want to climb the stairs there. I do not like heights. Like a few years ago, I would have definitely backed out of that climb, but hey, went up and down. It was okay. Was it worth it? Probably not. I'm a bit scared of heights. It looks better from the ground looking up anyway, so don't beat yourself up. Do whatever feels good for you.
That's it. And if you need to, come down on your bum.
So we finally entered Angkor Thom, the ancient walled city, through one of 5 royal gates. Most tourists come in through the south gate, but our route took us through the east gate, or Victory Gate as it's also known. Luckily we managed to cajole our tuk-tuk driver into taking us to one more temple. But first we stopped at the Elephant Terrace, the ancient royal grandstand. As you can probably see, it gets its name from the carved elephants in the wall here. If you miss one, don't worry, there's one every few feet.
This is our last one of the day. It's Bayon. This one I actually remember from 20 years ago, and it's because it's got all the faces on the little spires, which I really like. I requested this one from our driver because I don't really know where it was going to take us. He just sort of just takes us where he wants. So yeah, this is going to be the last one. We're pretty knackered now. It's getting warm.
Bayon is at the centre of Angkor Thom, hence it being so big and impressive. Known as the Temple of Faces, 216 giant stone heads look down on you from every direction from 54 towers. Unlike Angkor Wat, which is all straight lines and symmetry, Bayon feels more like a maze. As well as the towers, it has steep staircases and narrow corridors that lead to, well, more faces. And needless to say, we took several wrong turns as we explored the site. We only got to go to this temple because Lisa specifically requested it, so do some research before you go, and if you choose to hire a tuk-tuk, let the driver know where you want to go and what you want to see. We explored Angkor Wat in just a few hours, but some people spend days here, so how much you do and see is totally up to you. Anyway, it was our most sober Christmas day ever, but also one of our most fun ones. We left our hotel at 8:30 am and got back at 4 pm, so in total we were out for 6.5 hours, which was more than enough. Our driver, Mr. Sky, charged us $25, which we thought was good value, so we also paid him an extra $5 tip. For this, we also received cold water and cold towels throughout the day, as well as some tasty sticky rice steamed in bamboo, a pineapple to snack on, and a choice of a cold beer or cold coconut at the end of the day. We originally contacted a different driver who was unavailable and put us in touch with Mr. Sky, who spoke decent English and did a good job. But Siem Reap is full of tuk-tuk drivers, and if you're comfortable haggling, you might well get a better deal on the street. We were happy with what we paid though, and we were glad to have something pre-arranged. We were also given the option of hiring a guide to come along for additional fee, which we declined. It could have been interesting, but we wanted to do our own thing. All in all, this is a great way to see Angkor Wat on a budget, and if you're not confident riding a scooter, we highly recommend it. There are actually places offering Western-style Christmas dinners in Siem Reap, but we weren't here for that. It was an alternative Christmas. Remember? Instead, we went to a barbecue restaurant we'd passed the day before. All the signage was in Khmer, as were all the menus, but more importantly, we saw a huge barbecue with cuts of meat hanging from it. Sold.
Today is our alternate Christmas dinner. We ended up in this restaurant because we walked past last night and we could see like there was all this like smoke and like meat hanging. And so here we are, and this is like the beef steak special. I've got some rice. We've ordered a spicy chicken dish as well. Beef looks nice. It's not that pink, it's not that well done or anything. Let's try it at least. Yeah, quite tender. It's really lively with the dip. Yeah, it's nice. Pretty good. It's not turkey and pigs in blankets, but it's still tasty. Zingy.
Yeah, it's definitely got like a good peppery flavour. It's got like a green tomato, hasn't it?
Yeah. This is our fried chili chicken. I think that's what it's called. Strong smelling curry, so I think it's got a lot of curry leaves in it.
Yeah.
You want to try a little bit?
Yeah, okay. Let's try the chicken. Let's try one of these really fiery looking chilies and see what happens to me. Ready?
Not that spicy.
Not that spicy.
Despite not being spicy, the chili chicken was tasty and fragrant, with lots of lemongrass coming through, and the beef was good too. None of it's going to knock your socks off, but that's just Siem Reap for you. So Lisa's decided to stop off for a little bit of
Coconut rice cake.
dessert. At least I think it's dessert.
Yeah, I mean, we think it's dessert. I guess it was sweet. Yeah, you want it breakfast.
I wanted breakfast.
Fancy.
It could have gone either way. If I put chili sauce, it would have probably been savoury. But
One salad, 4,000.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
6,000 report.
right, and here we are after a dicey crossing the road mission. Not for the first time, so
It's still very hot, but let's have a go. Banana?
what's in the middle?
Banana?
Banana. Oh. Oh, nice treat. Not like the ones at breakfast then.
Yeah, it's really hot. Yeah, it is like the breakfast one. It's got a crispy outside, and the inside is kind of like that sort of almost like a steamed rice cake kind of texture. Not like mochi, but a bit like the turnip paste, turnip cake, the Chinese version with the soft rice. So yeah, soft inside and crispy on the outside. Very hot when it comes straight off the grill. But yeah, nice. Right, so second part of our dessert, gelato lamb. We've gone with chocolate and rum raisin. Looks the right kind of melty.
Yeah, seems promising.
Chocolate's good. Yeah, it's like dark chocolate, so it's very rich.
It's worth mentioning that it's a lot cheaper than the other gelato restaurant that's all around the corner.
There's one on the corner. I think it's called Mimosa, and it's on the main street, and they charge $4.50 for like 2 scoops. This the same here. I don't know if it's the same size scoops, but it's $2.50.
And
I think it's very good.
yeah, and
Smooth.
the ice cream you were more interested in trying, so
It's really smooth, actually. Chocolate flavour good. And I can
Yeah.
actually taste booze in this
I
too.
like that chocolate. I really like it.
You're going to like this rum raisin.
Let's have a go at this.
It's one of his favourites.
Let's have a go at this Malaga.
It's like his favourite flavour. It's got boozy
It's very Christmassy, actually.
and boozy.
Merry Christmas. We're filming this on Christmas Day, if you're wondering.
It is. Happy Christmas to us.
To see out the rest of the night, we headed to a bar called Home Cocktail. We'd heard that they have the cheapest beer in town, and they didn't disappoint. You can take the boy out of Yorkshire, but you can't take Yorkshire out of the boy. And the cocktails were good too. So that was the end of our Christmas Day in Angkor Wat in Siem Reap, and a bloody good one it was too. We stayed at the bougie Kulin Central Hotel for $191 for 3 nights. After all, it was Christmas, so we thought we'd treat ourselves. This included a very good breakfast, and the hotel had everything you might want, so we definitely recommend it. In hindsight, 2 nights in Siem Reap would probably have sufficed, so on the final day we mainly just chilled out and took advantage of the hotel gym and pool, as well as going out and drinking beer and eating, obviously. And by the evening we had time for one more meal. Would it finally be a standout meal in Siem Reap? Would it? Let's see. We found that Siem Reap Market was one of the best value places on our whole Asia trip to buy stuff like hats, bags and elephant pants, or Cambodia pants as we were told they're called here. We were there in the late evening and a lot of the vendors were keen to do a deal, which worked for us.
Okay, so all kinds of souvenirs. I bought myself a very spiffing Cambodia cap. It's not going to be fitted for you, that's like my size.
It's a good fit.
Yeah, got it for $3, which I'm okay with. Hopefully keep me shielded tomorrow in the 30 degrees heat.
If Pub Street isn't your vibe, and it certainly isn't ours, you might want to check out some of the more chilled out bars on the other side of the river. We'll leave a link to where we mean in the description.
Right, so last night here, dinner tonight, we've chosen Lao noodle. Might seem a strange choice, but we've walked past it a couple of times during our stay and it's always been busy. It's quite early now, it's like sort of just gone 7, but all the tables are taken outside basically. So yeah, we're going to have the Lao noodle and the beef lok lak. Yeah. Maybe something else after. Let's see. Okay, this is the Lao noodle. Got a beef bone, some beef, a different cut of beef there. It's like brisket, I think, or shin. It's some spring onions and lettuce, I think. Same kind of rice noodles, as same sort of size as like a pho noodle. Smells nice, aromatic.
So is your pho nice?
Does actually taste very much like pho,
That's surprising.
which I wasn't expecting, but I'm not mad about it. Yeah, pretty nice. Clean, that's what I'd say.
We normally fill it with chilies and other condiments, but we're getting a 5-hour bus to Phnom Penh tomorrow, so
I think I'll put a little pinch in, but I'll go easy is what we'll do.
restrained. Okay, and this is the beef lok lak. So got the beef there with probably quite a sweet sauce on it, fried egg, some salad there, and we've got some soup. And this is another really typical thing that we found a few times here in Cambodia: salt and pepper, and I think MSG mixture, which you add lime juice to.
Squeeze the lime in.
Yeah, you squeeze the lime into
the
it,
dipping sauce.
and it sets off the meats. So we had some problems tracking down some cutlery, but we got there in the end. And,
Yeah, we did.
yeah, well, let me know what we think.
Tasty.
Like pretty much everything we ate in Siem Reap, Lao Noodle was absolutely fine, but not outstanding. 3 out of 5 all day long. Maybe we just didn't find the best places to eat, who knows? So if you've got any good recommendations, please put them in the comments. The best things we had were undoubtedly the chive cakes at Family Rice Noodle and Chive Cakes, although maybe skip the noodles. And then there's Gelato Lab, which was by far our favourite dessert place. We thought Siem Reap might be all about Angkor Wat, and it mainly is, but it was still an unforgettable few days. You should go too.
I found it's Mr. Worm. He's outside the temple here, and he's just worming away across the sand. John was saying, do you remember when we were kids and you see loads of worms when it rained? And now we don't seem to see any at all. But it seems that Mr. Worm is thriving out here in Cambodia. Go, Mr. Worm. Bye.